What's going on? You're in the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. It's Friday, June 24th. Hope you've all had a solid week. Let's jump right into it. Talk about Sophie Allison, aka Soccer Mommy, and her new record, Sometimes Forever. This is studio album number 3 for her, and it's her follow-up to 2020's Color Theory. And she has been such an outstanding addition to the mainstream music landscape over the last 5 years or so. Been making music for over a decade now, but broke out with 2018's Clean. And I just love her rock and roll sensibility. There's such a strong 90s alternative influence at play here. Think of artists like Sheryl Crow, Liz Phair, PJ Harvey, Slater-Kenny. I can just go on and on and on with that list. What's fun about her music is that you listen to all the different songs and you can almost identify those influences. And so there's this sense of familiarity, but she also takes that influence and makes it so uniquely her own. And what I love about her music is that most of the time it's just her and her guitar that she's working with. The minimalism is strong with this one, and it's very impressive to listen to. If you follow her music, though, you may have noticed a current trend with her music. And this new record is following that trend. Her sound is starting to fill out a little bit. Not much, but she brings aboard Daniel Lopatin to produce on this record, aka 10 Tricks Point Never, and he just does a remarkable job. I really have to give him so much credit for what he's doing on this album. This is such a fine example of someone coming aboard and making a point of trying to have a very little influence as far as what you hear in the music, and having such a massive impact as a result of doing so. And her sound, it fleshes out a little bit. There's some shoegazy textures in this album, so you get a little bit of My Bloody Valentine, Mazzy Star. I like that influence there. And there's some subtle trip hop and industrial textures as well. You know, think of bands like Portishead or an artist like Bjork. And so I love what he brings to the table and what he's doing for her music, really just providing this, call it like a dynamic buffer. It's almost like he was able to just press a button and enhance her music. So kudos to him and for the job that he's doing on her record. And Sophie, she's so charismatic. I love her lyrical performance on this record. Her voice is great, but her exploration thematically of the grass is always greener on the other side is really well done on this album. She's definitely reached a point in her career where she's well established, pretty well known. And so being famous, I would say it's the toughest thing that someone in her shoes tackles. You have this everyday person while you also have your persona, and that duality. It's something that she explores a lot on this record. You know, the exploration of love and violence, the exploration of wisdom versus innocence. There's all these different things that she handles thematically. And I love the contrast. I love the brutal honesty of her just realizing that you have to deal with it. At the end of the day, no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, you're still a person, and you still have to wake up and live with integrity and go about life and just deal with all the shenanigans that life will throw at you. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but I dig her honesty. I dig her candid sense of humor on this record. It's one of the things that I really love about her. She ventures into some dark territory on this thing, but again, it's that charisma and it's that wit, that sense of humor, that charm that balances out and really makes for a fun exploration. This record thematically, it really made me think a lot of what Bob Dylan did with My Back Pages and that song. I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now, but I'm feeling that very, very strongly on this record, and it's a great thing that's working on this thing. It kicks off with Bones. Light electric riff and vocal element to open this thing up. Bit of 90s alternative rock right off the bat. You get a pretty strong shoegaze feel in this song, but I really like the way that this track fills out in the coda. Your second song, With You, is this song. It made me think of Live in the intro and in the verses a little bit, but I love the minimalism in that verse, and then the chorus, it gets brighter, it gets poppy, and then you get that contrasting kind of like Sheryl Crow influence there. So I like the back and forth on this song. Unholy Affliction is your third track. You start to get that industrial feel a little bit. Very subtle, but I like that texture there. And the instrumentation is interesting. It's just got this crackling, broken effect to it. And then the beat brings it together. It's really well done. Really unique song. There's parts of it that it made me think of what Bush was doing on their second record with the song Swallowed. It's really got a unique feel in the way that it moves in and out of the construction of the song. Shotgun, your fourth track, really dig this track. It's got a simple beat, solid riff that really allows her vocal to be the highlight. It's shoegazy. It's really just nice and light and easy to listen to, but very poppy, very catchy. One of my favorite songs on this record. record. New Demo is your 5th track. It's acoustic vocal track. It's got this light synth, and this is a really fine example of Daniel stepping in and just that little bit of backdrop. It's almost just kind of like adding a soft texture to the background of a painting. It's just so impressively done. Darkness Forever is your sixth track. Portishead feel on this thing. I really like the dark trip hop feel on this track, getting into more of kind of that light industrial feel on this song. Don't Ask Me, your 7th track, is just this brilliant blend of shoegaze and 90s alt pop. It's just another remarkably well done song. This is a killer record. I mean, she absolutely kills it. I really like the way that she's fleshing out her sound. Fire in the Driveway is your 8th track. Just her and her guitar, gentle ambience, getting back to that presence that Daniel has. So minimal but so elegant. Following Eyes, your 9th song, is got this nice light electro industrial intro, and then the guitar bridges the intro, and this track is probably my favorite. I really like the way that this track builds and fleshes out, and just a great lead into your penultimate track, Feel It All the Time. This is a solid alt rock dram, great groove, great melody going on here, and then just a nice closer, mellow acoustic vocal on Still. It's just a really nicely done effort. I would argue that this is certainly her best record to date, and we're going to vinyl please this thing. I hope that you enjoyed this record kicking off the weekend, and I hope you find this review helpful. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, do all the things to help me blow this project up in 2022, and stay tuned throughout the week for more album reviews. We will see you next time on the Beat Sessions.